everyone, welcome back. This is now part 3 and we're actually going to get on the ball. So get your ball ready. In terms of where you place it, just make sure that I'd say if you've got a yoga mat, that's actually really ideal because it's going to help keep you stable and safe. So what I've done is I've got my yoga mat and I've used it lengthways, as you can see. Okay, so let's get working. So we're going to start to do some little gentle bounces. Okay, nothing too strenuous. We've got the feet, the toes turning out. Okay, so you've got your heels closer to the ball and we've got the pelvis open. All right, so we're just going to start to do some little bounces. So you can be a little bit inventive with it if you want. You could have like a little flick to one side. We'll be doing a little bit more of that later anyway. So the main thing is just to start doing some just gentle bounces for now. Okay. Lovely stuff. All right then. So first thing we're going to do on the ball is we're going to do some pelvic floor work. All right. So the pelvic floor muscle, in case you didn't already know, is the muscle that actually can stop you from winning halfway through. So if you understand what that feels like, you know how you're able to actually tense that muscle. Okay, so we're going to have the hands on the legs and we're going to let that pelvic floor muscle just simply relax towards the ball. So just feel yourself doing that. We're going to have the hands out to the side with pelvic floor relaxed, and as we inhale we're going to start to draw that pelvic floor up towards your head, and we're going to be lifting the hands at the same time. So bringing those hands up, holding everything up there, and then exhaling very gradually, slowly and gradually, just letting the pelvic floor muscle release towards the ball along with the hands. Okay. Inhaling, coming up, so drawing that pelvic floor muscle back again, so bringing it up towards your head, and exhale, letting that pelvic floor muscle start to release. Okay, so this time we're going to make things a little bit more difficult. We're going to inhale, bring those hands up, and as those hands reach towards each other, we're going to keep that pelvic floor muscle tight. Okay, we're going to exhale, keep the pelvic floor muscle tight and let those hands go. So keep breathing all the way out. Keep that pelvic floor muscle tight, inhaling. Promise you'll be able to let it go soon, I promise. Inhaling all the way to the top. And exhale, releasing that pelvic floor nice and steady, 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 until the pelvic floor rests against the ball. Okay, so just start to bounce again. So just releasing out of that. I'm going to shake out of it. So give your hands a little shake, a little bit of a jellyfish. Got to love a little bit of jellyfish. And let those hands open and close all the way around. Okay, so let's get the fingers. We're going to interlace them. I'm going to bring them underneath the chin. Keep yourself nice and stable. Okay, and this time with the pelvic floor, we're going to engage the pelvic floor as we inhale and lift up the elbows. As we exhale, we're going to let the pelvic floor release and let those elbows come towards each other. Inhale, bringing the pelvic floor up. Exhale, bringing it down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Lovely, shake it off. Have another little bounce. Okay, so let's have those hands together at the put together in a prayer position at the heart. We're going to let the fingers kind of fold over each other in an interlace. I'm going to inhale, push the palms away, lifting up. I'm going to take a moment to look up at those hands. Keep yourself stable in your feet. Your feet are grounded the whole time. Exhale, chin to chest, coming through the gates of those arms. Inhale, reaching up with the gaze. One more time. Breath all the way to the top. Exhale down. One last time, inhaling all the way up. Exhale down. And then we're going to release those hands and have a little bounce and a roll. So let those hands just, I love doing this, it just kind of shakes that energy out, just releases out of the pose. Okay, right, so this is for this, if you don't want to do a whole routine like we're doing today, and you just want to get a few things done every single day, you could do this perhaps, I'd say 2 times a day, so you could do it in the morning, in the evening. This is the hip circles, these are the important ones, okay? So we're going to be using 10 clockwise circles, all right? And we're going to be doing them clockwise, and then we're going to be doing them anti-clockwise. And what this does is it helps to strengthen those pelvic floor muscles, which is really good for, and also it's really good for optimal fetal positioning, so having the pelvis open like this. So get yourself into that neutral position, and we're going to come over to the left, inhaling all the way around, tuck the tailbone under, all the way around, that's 1 circle. All the way around again. Flick the tailbone out, tuck it under, that's 2. 3. 4. Keep those tailbones tucked under. 5. Flick it out. 6. 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Okay, so we're going to break it up with a bounce, okay? So just have a little bounce, a little bit of a boogie, breaking it up just a little bit. Get quite funky with this. Ooh. So just do whatever you want to do, you know, there's no hard and fast rules to this, it's just have a little bit of fun. Okay, we're going to go anti-clockwise. So we're going to go over to the right this time, inhaling and exhaling all the way around. Really let the pelvis come round in a really nice big circle, that's 2. Tucking that tailbone under. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can do these as slow or as fast as you want to. 8, 9, and 10. Fantastic. Bounce it out. Go a little bit high if you want to. Whee! Oh, so much fun this is. It is so much fun. I do love being on the ball. Okay, so we're going to do figure of 8. I want you to imagine that figure of 8 here, sat on your mat. So we're going to work our way up to the top of the 8, work it round. Nice big figure of 8. We're going to do 3 of those. That's 1, that's 2, and 3, and bounce it out. Okay, next one is side to side. Okay, so we're going to be letting the hips sway from one side to the other. So flicking the hips to one side, coming to the other, like that, nice and easy. So you're kind of leaning that weight down into the leg a little bit here, and using the support of the feet and the floor. So just nice and steady, going one side to the other, and then bounce it out. Okay, so pelvic tilts. I'm going to come sideways on for this one, just simply so that you can see me a little bit better. Obviously, I don't want you to change position because I need you to be supported by the mat underneath. However, I'll be okay, I've got carpet here. So, you can just see what's happening with my pelvis. We're going to be doing pelvic tilts. So as we inhale, I want you to scoop that pelvis up, okay? Almost like you're trying to bring your belly button up towards you, and exhale, send it out. It's a little bit like Beyonce. It's a Beyonce thing, isn't it? So sticking the booty out, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Now, one thing I want to really make a point of here as well is if you have got PGP, you can bring your feet in just a little bit more, okay, so you're not quite so wide. So flicking it under, sending it out. So nice gentle rocks forwards and backwards. Wonderful, so keep those going. Forwards and backwards, just a couple more, forwards and backwards. Okay, so we're going to come into a little bit of a side stretch now. So bounce it out first, let it all go. So bounce it out. Okay, we're going to be leaning, we're going to be doing a side body lean, so a side stretch with the arm overhead. So planting the weight down into that right foot. And we're going to start to allow the forearm to kind of rest here on the thigh. Left arm's going to come up and over, so right arm supported, left arm up and over, and here, I apologise if this is the wrong way around for you, it doesn't really matter which way you start. So coming over, you can mirror me if you want to, so opening out, so we're turning the heart up towards the ceiling here, breathing in 3 times, 3 big breaths. Lovely, and then we're going to rotate that arm around. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fantastic. Okay, so let's bounce it out. Do a little bit of freestyling here, whatever you want to do. Bit of bouncing, maybe backwards and forwards, side to side, whatever you want to. And then we're going to come into the other side. We're leaning now into that left foot. Okay, so left arm, the forearm's going to rest there. We're going to be opening out the side body. Inhale, up and over, reaching up nice and tall. And taking it over. So you're opening out the little intercostal muscles here in the ribs. And separating that lower rib from the hip. We're going to turn the heart slightly up towards the ceiling. And 3 big breaths here. Lovely. Okay, and let's just rotate the arm. 1, 2, you can look up at the arm if that feels okay too, and 3. Wonderful. Bring it back. Nice little bounce. Okay, so this time I'm going to be bringing the hands onto the thighs, and we're going to be doing a seated cat-cow. So in cat-cow, obviously normally we're on all 4s, but this time we're going to be bringing ourselves into that flexion and extension in a seated position. So we're going to inhale, opening out, open the chest really nice and wide, lifting the heart space. Exhale, bringing the chin to chest, just tucking the tailbone under. So there's a little roll in the ball happens here. Inhale, and then exhale, chin to chest. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's do a couple more. Inhale and exhale. Remember to keep that tailbone tucked. Last one. Good stuff. Bounce it out. And the next one's one of my favourite ones, our sun breath. I tend to do this in all of my yoga classes, pregnancy yoga or not. I just love the fact that it opens out the chest and the shoulders. So keeping yourself exactly where you are with your feet, you need to make sure you're really fully supported. I'm going to bring the hands together towards the heart. So what you're feeling is like the thumbs are kind of pressing in towards your sternum. Just lifting that skin up just a tad. So the prayer that the hands are together at the heart, and as we inhale, we're going to come up through the centre line, and at this point we're going to tuck the tailbone under as we inhale. As we exhale, we're going to expand the hands wide open and then push that tailbone out. Bringing the hands all the way back together. Hands at the heart, bringing yourself into a neutral position with your pelvis. Okay, so inhale, tailbone comes out. Exhale, expanding wide, and you're just bringing those hands back and tailbone comes back in again. And coming back to centre. One more time, inhale. Exhale, tailbone comes out. And then bringing yourself back into a neutral position, okay? I'm going to flick the hands, open them up, open and close them, bounce it out. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to do just a little bit of straightening of the legs. We're going to come into the right foot. So you may, in fact, I'm going to come onto the yoga mat a little bit more. So kind of think about this more like in a warrior two position. So you're going to have the foot, right foot out towards the top of the mat. And what you're looking at is keeping your toes kind of towards the outer edge of that mat. And we can open it out here. So keep the shoulders away from the ears if you can, because we have a tendency to kind of scrunch up here. So let's bring it into that warrior two. Okay, and we're going to turn the palm on the right hand up towards the ceiling. Let the left hand rest just on that left leg. And we're going to bring those hands nice and high, the hand nice and high. Stretching up through the front body. And releasing, turning yourself back to centre, have a little bounce. Remember, we're always just releasing what we've just done. So bounce, bounce, bounce. Doing the other side now. So we're going to extend left foot out, right foot comes out. Kind of have to wiggle around a little bit and get your positioning here. Yeah, she says, extending out. Oh dear, right, okay, so extending out, we're coming to the other side now. So making sure that that knee joint isn't going over the ankle joint too much, you're not coming over and overextending, so we're just letting the knee joint just settle on top of the ankle joint there. Remember to keep those shoulders away from the ears, nice and strong. Turn the palm up on that left hand, right hand comes down the leg, lifting up into that reverse warrior, reaching those fingertips nice and high. Just a couple of breaths, 3 breaths maximum. Release the hand down and have another little bounce. Okay. Right, what I would like to do, now this is only possible if you've got a spare wall, okay? So I'm going to use this wall here. Well, actually, I might have to use the door. See how we get on. I think it will have to be the door. Thankfully, I've got a bit of frame here, which I'm safe to do. Wouldn't advise going against actual glass, though. So I'm going to bring my ball mat where I can. So I'm going to bring the ball up. This is the bit where the door opens, right? Check that. That would make a really funny You've Been Framed video for sure. Okay, so we're going to massage the back. So we're just going to perhaps bringing the ball quite high up towards the shoulder blades, I'd say. And you can just massage the back, so rolling up and down. Leaning against it, opening out. So if you want to get your thighs nice and strong, you can actually do some little squats. So you don't have to go too crazy. I would say if you are in your 3rd trimester and you're actually getting towards you're actually getting towards like 30, 39, 40 weeks, you're okay to take your legs a little bit wider, because at the end of the day, it is going to put pressure on the pelvic floor, but that's okay because you're wanting to give birth. If you are a lot earlier on, I would say in terms of like, I don't know, perhaps about 30 weeks, keep the legs a little bit closer together. So I'm just going to simply come down into a squat. So you can actually use your arms with this as well to help give a little bit of extra. So inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling. And you don't have to go too far down. You don't have to really come down into it. That's not necessary. It may just be a little dip, and that's okay. What we're doing here is we're getting these legs really super strong. Good stuff, okay? And then bringing yourself down. And it's good that you've got it against the wall, because this is really good in order to demonstrate how to actually birth using the ball. So having it against a solid surface like a wall is great. So I can just hold over on the ball like that. And you can just hug the ball, and you've got your pelvis open here. You've got your legs wide apart, the pelvis is open. And you're going to just do some little circles, whatever you want to do. You could perhaps come down, supported. You can perhaps lean against it like we were doing earlier in the video. So these are really good ones. You can also lean against it, again like we were doing a lot earlier. So I would say a really good practice for you to do is to actually, as well as bouncing on the ball every night, you could perhaps get yourself comfortable, maybe putting some cushions underneath your bottom, and just sitting like this. Even if you don't want to use the ball, you could just simply sit like this against a surface and have your legs open here. And what we're aiming for here is just a little bit of an anterior tilt in the pelvis to keep that optimal fetal positioning. We're also just encouraging every single night to keep that baby in this position. Now obviously with us being in the middle of lockdown, naturally we're going to be spending a lot more time sitting down, perhaps watching Netflix or whatever it is we want to do. We've got to be careful, because when we sit down on that sofa, you know, the natural position, as I said earlier, is like you're going to kind of end up, the baby's going to end up perhaps turning the wrong way around, and we don't want that. So if you're going to be sat watching, you know, watching TV for a little while, sit like this instead, you know, in a way that your pelvis is open, you've got a little anterior tilt, and that's going to really encourage good positioning. So that is it, guys. I really hope that, you know, it's been some use for you. You know, obviously you're probably not going to always have time to go through all of this. So the main things are, I would say, is keep those hip circles going. That's a really good practice to do a couple of times a day. Lots of bouncing, side to side wiggles on the hips, lots of pelvic tilts. So those are the main ones you really want to be doing. But if you wanted to get yourself strong and do, you know, incorporate that ball work with a little bit of yoga work as well, it's going to help really strengthen your body ready for the big day. So I hope you've enjoyed this. And I hope to see you soon with lots of baby news. So take care, guys. Lots of love.